Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ian here, and today we're gonna be doing a little of a settings tour, I guess, and just how I make my videos. So let's get into it. So first of all, let's talk about OBS and just how I record my videos and what settings I use. That's more important. But let's look at that. So we have in the OBS settings that we have here, we're gonna first of all look at video. Now a lot of people don't understand this concept, but scaling usually looks a lot worse than just having a native resolution. Now, it's not like that for every game. You're going to have some that are better with upscaling, and a lot of people with smaller monitors do that to get it at higher resolutions for people to see in higher quality. But for me and a lot of people, if you use a 1440p monitor, you don't really need this. It's not important at all, unless you need 4K quality, which I guess you could use FFmpeg for that. But as far as I'm aware, or as far as I do it, I just record native 1440p, no downscaling, nothing of that. And a little something that's different than other people is I record in 120 FPS. That's not the average. It's not natural for people to do that. Usually people record in 60 FPS, but from what I've seen on like videos, it's especially I think in Minecraft, people record in high FPS because it kind of doesn't look good when you're recording in low FPS. Uh, if you're not focusing on a game or something, like it's a lot smoother. Like you can see my mouse cursor going around. It's a lot smoother on 120 than it is going to be on 60. Even 80 is smoother than 60. Basically, you're just seeing double the frames, which gives it more room to sort of create this blur because it records, well, frankly, more frames. So you see about double as many. So while 60 may look a little choppy, 120 is going to be about like twice as smooth. I don't know the exact math, but it's more, there's double the frames, so you see more frames in between. So for each motion, there's going to be more. So yeah, it's basically what it is. You see more per second, which makes it a lot smoother if like sort of a lot of setups. Like especially I'll touch on it again, the mouse cursor moving around, you can see it's a lot smoother than you'll see on a 60 FPS recording. But for a lot of people, this doesn't matter. If you're recording games, especially, you really can't tell, except for like a few exceptions like Minecraft or something like that. But I just natively record on 120 because I've always done it. So yeah, looks pretty good. Output, there's not really a lot you're going to change down here for streaming. It's pretty much set up the way it is. You only need like 6,000 for that. It's not going to be the best quality on Twitch, but they do take a higher bit rates than YouTube does. Sorry, I had that the wrong way around. YouTube will take higher bit rates than Twitch will, so you can get a better stream looking on YouTube, but it really doesn't apply to a lot of people. It doesn't really matter. So I don't even stream that much. Like I've done it like twice, so I'm not really gonna touch on that. So we're gonna go right to the recording tab. Now, the way I record is I sort of have bit rates that fluctuate. So, say I'm recording a Tetris video, it's going to be about 32,000, something higher sometimes too, because Tetris Effect just happens to have a lot of particles that move around, and it's a huge part of the game, so you'll see it a lot. So if you have a low bit rate, it's really not going to look as good as a higher bit rate. You're going to see more artifacting and all that. It's a bit of a problem. So I recommend having it a little higher, maybe even higher than this, but this is pretty good for the videos I've made and how they've looked. So I'm not going to worry that much about it. Um, if you're using AMD or even the latest NVIDIA cards and Intel, I think basically all new gen cards have this. I recommend recording in H.265. AMD happens to have a wonderful encoder for this. I've had no problems with it. Uh, One thing about AV1, because a lot of people have been doing AV1, they've been testing it out. For me at least, I've been having some weird problems with it. Like, it'll be fine when I record it, but when I upload it to YouTube, it looks a bit crappy. I'm not sure exactly why, but uh, I just don't use it right now. So once it stops having that problem, I'll probably go back to it. But yeah, H.265. Like when I made that, that video for Indigo Park, I recorded about 10 times because AV1 kept getting this like weird purple artifacting mess. Kind of weird. I'll show you guys in the edit probably what that looks like, but it's just not great right now. So maybe in a couple years or a couple months, whenever they improve it, I'll switch back to that because it is more efficient. It works a lot better. So I can't really have any problem with that. But that's pretty much all there for the recording settings in OBS. I don't think really anything else matters, but audio is well, just like the normal standard that it has there. I haven't really bothered to change it that much. And general. There is one thing though, in advanced, you're gonna want to change the process priority to like high or something above just normal. Preferably the highest one that you have available, because that sets the program as the highest priority. So there'll be more resources dedicated to OBS instead of other apps. So I recommend it a bit. It may make some recordings look a lot better. It really doesn't matter most of the time, but it's usually just processing power. So that's that. Second thing I want to talk about is the audio. So this is not a normal USB microphone. It is a Audio-Technica AT2020. And I found it on sale on eBay for like $50, so I went for a pretty good price. So yeah, and then I got the audio interface to plug it into. So that's pretty good. We got like a really cheap one though. It's like at back here or something. I'll leave a link to it in the description. I haven't had any problems with it. It's pretty good. Yeah, just like USB cables being a little bit weird though. That could be something that really matters sometimes. But a lot of my audience, you guys don't really care about this huge high audio equipment, but I do want to talk about how I increase the sound because it's a bit quiet. So I use a program called Voice Meter. I'll just drag it over. And it works pretty well. Basically what it does is that you can tune your microphone, make it sound louder, make it sound quieter. Whatever you really need, just equalize it. So there's a alternative on Linux called like Pulse Meter, I think. But they do basically the same thing. You can increase and decrease the loudness and sort of take care of a lot of audio stuff for this. And then you don't have to worry about it in other programs. So what I have is mostly just increasing the volume because my microphone's actually really quiet when it first comes out. At least for like a lot of these videos, it's a lot quieter. So I sort of pump it up there to like 12. The natural is like 0. So yeah, it's a lot. And then a little bit over here too. But it comes out in this wonderful louder noise. And that's what I really wanted. So that's what I went for. But that's pretty much it there. And there's like one more thing to talk about, which I don't really do as much anymore, but there's a program. Well, the program I use for editing is Vegas Pro. So Vegas Pro is a pretty good program. You can use it for editing. It's sort of like, I guess, well, every editing program is sort of the same thing. It's just how you use it and how they have different tools, especially like Premiere has AI tools now, so that's pretty cool. But they might have special effects and stuff, so yeah. But I'm just gonna insert a video track, add some text or something. Just so I can show you my render settings. So that's pretty good there. We're gonna go over to render. And usually what I go for is these big brain settings. And what I have for that is I have my resolution, which is 2560 by 1440, because they do not actually allow you to use this resolution. You have to add it in yourself. So you have to do that. For frame rate, we use 60 because while I record in 120, I render in 60 because I'm not sure exactly why, but it makes it come out a lot smoother. It's not just, the high FPS originally, but not sure exactly why there. But it's just a little Minecraft trick a lot of YouTubers use there to make it look way better. I use variable bit rate of 80 million and 40 million. That's actually the default there, and it's just what I use. It looks pretty good, I think. I don't really have a problem with it, so I just go with it. For encode mode, I just use what I have available to me, which is AMD VCE. Yeah, I think it's better than main concept right now, but it's really up to you to decide that for your own testing. Audio, I haven't really changed any of this. System, nothing there. Project, you're going to want to switch Okay, this is huge in Vegas. It's possibly the most important setting you'll ever change, is to turn video render quality to best. So I want to talk about this. So by default, it uses project settings. So what that means is that it uses what you have here. In preview quality, it's usually like draft auto. So if you don't change that to best, it's gonna come out at draft auto. So it's gonna look sort of like this, you know, like it's some blurry fucking text. But what you want to do is do best auto, and that'll make it look a lot cleaner. And so when you render it out, it'll use what setting you had here, unless you change it to high in that one part. So that's basically all there. It's not really too big, but it'll really make your videos different. I don't have much else to talk about, but I want to talk about also my setup. So right now we'll go over this because it's actually pretty interesting stuff. Currently, as far as like I'm aware, this is pretty good for like recording videos from what I've seen in my recordings. But I'm gonna try to upgrade, or I'm planning on upgrading to a 7700 XT or X. That's my CPU. Right now I use the 5600G, so it's a pretty bottom of the barrel CPU, but it's pretty good. I don't have any problem with that. I overclocked it a little bit too. Memory, we got about 32 gigabytes of that at 3000 speed. It's pretty good for the CPU, but depending on what you have, like 7700X, you're gonna want faster RAM. But it does use DDR5, so it will be kind of fast. But RAM speed is a huge effect in the 7000 series of CPUs. And then last but not least, like I have a lot of drives here because I need like a lot of storage. I have my GPU here, which is the 7800 XT. A lot of people don't really record in AMD settings, so I want to make this video just to talk about it. Because it's a huge thing for a lot of people. They won't want to spend, they don't want to spend a lot of money on a GPU, but there's not a lot of people that sort of put out AMD settings for this, so wanted to get that done for you. And yeah, and then I have like okay, I do have a fuck ton of SSDs. It's kind of weird. So I have, that's my main drive. It's a M.2, 1 terabyte for that. And I got games. I do a lot of coding, so I've been using up a lot of my storage there. So really cool drive instead of 2 terabytes. So I got a bunch of these like WD My Passport things drives. It's extremely useful for like a lot of on the go stuff. It's very good. They got like 2 terabyte sizes in all of them. Very useful. So if I'm going somewhere, I bring two of them with me, so I have my games and my work stuff. But at home, I do have a 43.5 terabyte NAS. It's pretty good. I didn't pay for the Synology one. I sort of made my own. You can buy one of those mini PCs off of AliExpress and a drive enclosure there, and then just get a bunch of drives to put in there. Like Amazon Renewed was a huge help in that. So I use that for storing a lot of my videos. I haven't been doing it yet because I just built it like not too long ago. So in the future, I'll be using that instead of my drives because it's kind of cluttering up. This is my current recording setting or place, by the way. But yeah, so I recommend that a lot. It's very helpful. But organizing your storage is one of the most important things you can do. So I recommend that a lot. I still have to work on that a lot. I keep saying a lot again, but I still have to work on it, but it's very huge and very important. Organizing your stuff. So I don't have much else to talk about here, but yeah, I think that's basically about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this helps you because frankly, this is what I've learned over several years and it works pretty well. And I think it's very important for people to actually, get advice from people who have set this all up and figured it out. And yeah, that's it for the video. So I hope you guys have a great day and have a wonderful post-election day. Yeah, that's happened. Yeah. No, I'm done. Whatever. See you guys later. Haven't ended it there. It's a bit awkward, but you know what? That's ending right there. See you guys later.